Good morning, brothers and sisters. It is 7:55 a.m. Central Standard Time on March 12, 2022. Hope our Creator is keeping you well and safe wherever you are in the world. We are going to go on to today's episode. It's not even an episode. It's just we're just going to be getting served a solar sandwich. I hope y'all are hungry because this is going to be a busy next few days. Nom nom, folks. Nom nom. Bring your napkins. And we're going to start off today at spaceweatherlive.com over here at Solar Flares. And as we take a little look-see-wooksy, we can remember our very long-term C event. That's a long time to have a C-class flare. There was a lot of plasma that came off with this, right? Then we have all these little pops, these little pops, right? We can see that our baseline actually did come up. And that is very indicative of us when we see the baseline. And here it actually kind of jumped up with this flare. The baseline of what we live in, which is between C and B right now, when that comes up, we have a much higher chance of getting M and even X class flares. Okay, so it was been building. So we were getting all these little pops, and then sure enough, bam, we got hit with an M2, 2.3. So not only do we have this long one coming at us, that's going to be hitting us tomorrow, actually tonight. And we've got all these little buggers behind it, and then this little son of a gun popping behind it, and there's even more. So yeah, our sun is definitely giving us one heck of a sandwich to chew on. And as we come over here to the WSA Enlil, that's right, Anunnaki Sumerian god Enlil solar wind prediction, and we come check out his little. Oh, look at this. This is plasma density in centimeters cubed. Looks like they're predicting about 60. Well, thank you, the Anunnaki god by the name of Enlil in the Bible that we all know of, that is written by. Right here, 60 centimeters cubed. Well, that's the top of the chart. Oh boy, ain't that going to be fun, folks? No, it's not. And yeah. Down here again, that was the winds right here, and this is the plasma as well. See, Enlil, two different charts. We're definitely going to be getting hit, and according to them, now this is the Earth, and this is the Sun. Okay, you can look up here for the different charts. The green planet right here, this is Venus, and this is Mercury. So, this is the Earth, and these little black and white bands are electromagnetic lines that connect us to the Sun, okay? Which is why when you rotate around like this, you can see the bands connecting. So, according to them, we're going to get tattooed on the 14th, it looks like. Well, wait a minute. We're going to be getting hit later on tonight into tomorrow from the first guy. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. And over here at European Space Agency, according to our Euphoria model, which is very ironic, the 12th, which is today, right at midnight, 13 minutes and 57 seconds. Right after midnight, UTC time, was when we did get impacted, actually, about 35 centimeters cubed. And then she's spiking down. We're going to get a little hump up, and yeah, that's when the big boy hits. That's when we've got issues here. What day is this going to be on? 14th? Yep, 1600 UTC time. So if you're on the daytime side, yeah, this is going to be fun. Looking like 75 centimeters cubed. That is off this chart. And that's from the long-term C-class flare. It's not even from the M flare that we had. So, yeah, the M flare might actually catch up to this and might hit just on the back side. So, yeah, we're gonna have some fun times ahead, folks. I hope y'all are hungry, because we about to get fed. Well, heck, when we come over here and we look at spaceweather.com, they're saying that it's going to be 1800 UTC time on March 13th. Well, this would have been from the C flare. Yeah, so the one that we're seeing on the 14th, what is that? Is that the M flare that's catching up and kind of pushing it into it? I mean, who knows? I mean, this thing, it does run slow, but goodness gracious. This is definitely going to be an interesting thing. It could be a combination 1-2 punch. See, they're talking about the C flare. They haven't even gone on about the M flare yet. So who knows? I have a feeling it's going to be like the 13th, 14th. Yeah, see, 13th to 14th. we're definitely going to have some auroras out of this. If you happen to live in the northern hemisphere, up in this region here, yeah, you're definitely going to be getting some really interesting auroras. That's for darn sure. Over here at Space Weather Prediction Center.noaa.gov, we can tell right here that we did get our first little impact here. We got up to KP5. This right here was our first coronal mass ejection. Now remember, earlier in the week, we had a coronal mass ejection that was not associated with a flare. Remember, we saw it whoosh off of the northeastern corner. If we're looking at the sun, it would be the north right corner. Remember, a few days ago, we could see it kind of came off, but there was no major flare with it. It just had a coronal mass ejection. That's what this right here was. And now this right here is the beginnings of some of the previous little pops that came with it. But when this bugger hits, which is going to be later, yeah, folks, we actually see how this is a 5. I'm actually expecting it to get up here into 7. KP7. So we're looking at possible G2 storms. G2 level storms. I mean, right now, let's come on up here. We're going to look at R1, which is radio blackouts, impacts, okay? Weak or minor degradation of high-frequency radio communications on sunlit side, occasional loss of radio contact, low-frequency navigation signals degraded for brief intervals, okay? Not a big deal. We're also at a G1, which is geomagnetic storm impacts. Weak power grid fluctuations can occur. Minor impact on satellite operations are possible. Migratory animals are affected by this and higher levels. Aurora is commonly visible at high latitudes, northern Michigan, Maine area, for if you live here in the United States. So, yeah, now this is going to be, with the KP index being up to 7, this would go to a G2 and maybe even to a low G3, and this could go up to R2, R3. R2, G2, R2, D2. That's funny. Sorry. Now, as we can take a quick look at our sunspots, this right here, we're looking at 2965, and ooh, we are starting to get some friends that are going to be playing here. This could be a very interesting week coming up, folks. And if this winds up swirling his little happy little fun buns over here to start playing with this, yeah, we're definitely going to be in for a ride. And this right here is sunspot 2967. As you can see, we've got our positive and our negative right next to each other. So this could really, this could wind up being a very interesting week coming up. Those are really close, and those are friends. They're dancing. Oh, look at over here, 2960, where we got our flare. Look at this. He's starting to dance. So that's how we got that M flare. This thing popped up, and he's playing with it. Oh, boy. And Noah's prediction model for today looks like we were at G1, level 5, but then we come back down, and then look at right between the 13th and 14th, it comes right back up again to G1, and KP index shows it's 6. So I don't know if they're accounting for the other stuff going on. So I still think that this could change to a 7, but we'll see what happens with that, right? We'll see. Oh, come on. And as we can tell here from our ACE mag and SweepAM, we are below -6, so we're definitely having events that are hitting our magnetic field, so we can see it kind of bouncing up and down, trying to stabilize itself. Looks like it either went offline or went off the charts. And then it kind of stabilizes itself, kind of comes back in a little bit, so that's always good. And yeah, that's about, we're going to have to take a look at our absorption. Let me show you here. This right here was our M flare, our absorption of what we got. Looks like right over here, it looks like Hawaii definitely got it. Some of these other islands here, looks like we were over here and got about 32 decibels worth of radiation absorption. Yippee-ki-yay. And just for us to do a quick little check over here at LASCO C2 and LASCO C3, let's see what we got, if it's coming at us. Oh, and it does look like there is some of that coming at us. So that flare did launch a little bit of coronal mass ejection with it, which typically it would. Anytime there's an M flare, there's usually going to be some form of a release. It's just whether or not it's coming our direction or not. It looks like, according to LASCO C2, it looks like it is. Well, let's go check out LASCO C3 just for extra verification. And that would be yes. Coming in our direction. Alright. Now, let's go take a look at this bad boy, shall we? Here we are over at ISWA, looking at 94 angstroms of light. And we are going to zoom in just a little bit, because we know that it's coming off of this region right here, right? Oh, come on, you gutless bloody wonder. hate it when it does that. And there she is. And we can see the movements around from the eruption. So there was definitely plasma released from it. Let's back it up again. That's a decent sized M flare right there. Now, not directly Earth facing, but facing us enough. Let's take a look at 335 angstroms of light. This one is what gives us the chatter marks. You can see the chatters in it right here really well. But it doesn't really get much brighter than that, which is really kind of disappointing. Well, isn't that interesting? It almost looks like it's being shot from underneath, doesn't it? Like something shooting it. Pew. Some form of energy. I don't know. That's just my thought. I just find it interesting. Now let's check it on our overlay. Let's see how interesting this is. I haven't seen it on this one yet. We'll do it together, see what she looks like. Oh, yeah, you can definitely see the stuff coming out of it right here. So there's definitely plasma. And actually, it's kind of funny. It's kind of coming out this way instead of straight out. So it actually looks like it's like purposely trying to shoot our direction, doesn't it? That's interesting. Well, that was it. That was it from the overlay, so nothing grand and spectacular out of it. Alright, now let's get down to the meat and potatoes. This is the grand finale here, folks. This right here is where we're going to start off LASCO, or actually this is a stereo ahead chronograph 2 on the 9th, okay? Because we remember we had that one. Oh, look at that nice little round object right there going off the backside. But remember we had the chronomass ejection right before that. Right here. Did you see it? It's a little halo. You see it? The halo effect coming off of that? That's what's actually, that's going to affect us a little bit. But we also had that chronomass ejection that came off without a flare. And then we had this bad boy the other day. This is the long-term event that's going to be coming at us. Okay? So there's that one. And then that one. That's coming at us as well. That's from the X flare, or the M flare. This late last night, early this morning. So now to top all of that off, guess what else? So not only do we have the plasma from those coronal mass ejections and those, the X-rays from the flares and all that coming at us, that's going to be hitting us all this weekend. Guess what else is coming in right behind them? See this here? Oh yeah, coronal hole. Right here, you can see it. Coronal hole winds. Those are going to be impacting us. That's going to be pushing behind everything else, pushing it right along. So yeah, that's why I showed y'all the picture of that big old solar sandwich. I hope y'all are hungry, because we about to get fed. So solar winds backing up what's coming from all of this stuff. Goodness gracious. Oh, look at it. There it is there. So yeah, we got that one. Boom, that one, and that one. So yeah, and then behind it, solar winds. So yeah, buckle up, folks. The next 3 or 4 days are going to be pretty interesting. But remember, keep our eyes open. No fear, and remember that love is the only way forward.